everybody in this chamber is still under a general warning. Member for Barton. Was that the member for Barton? I know we're all tired, but let's just get on with it. Member for the Manager of Opposition Business.
Thanks, Mr Speaker. I really want to implore the government to consider your position on this. I really do. I start with the words that were given by the Prime Minister when this bill was introduced, where he implied to the House that the anti-vilification protection was already in the bill. If it was important enough to be put in the speech, it's important enough to be put in the bill. The Prime Minister said this: "The bill draws a clear line against harassment, vilification or intimidation of anyone." No, it doesn't, and it should. Those words the Prime Minister said are right. Because, let's face it, while a lot of the lobbying that happens in terms of religious discrimination happens in terms of the organisations, religious organisations, the lived experience of prejudice happens when people are abused on the street. The lived experience of prejudice happens when people are threatened, intimidated, harassed and vilified. And the Prime Minister and I, for our respective electorates, when I was here in my first term, it was before the Prime Minister arrived here, there was a riot in his electorate, largely about people who live in my electorate, and some of it was race-based and a lot of it was faith-based, and all of it was wrong. All of it was wrong. And yet, if a woman in Lakemba or Punchbowl is walking down the stairs at the station and is threatened, intimidated, harassed or vilified because they say you're Lebanese, she has legal protection. But if it's because they say you're a Muslim and they're having a go at her for wearing a hijab or a niqab, she has no legal protection. And I just implore those opposite. There have been some passionate speeches about how wrong it is to discriminate against somebody simply because of their faith. The Prime Minister and others have said about the fact that for people of faith it is another issue of identity. And people on a range of issues not about religion have talked about horrific ways that people are vilified. We've all established the principle in the debate about this bill, but we haven't put the words into the bill. This amendment does it. The words have been deliberately chosen in a way that can achieve consensus, because we know for those opposite, not for everybody, but we've been through the 18C debates, and we know that if we were to use the language of 18C, that creates a problem within some of you for your party room, and we are trying to find language that will work. But if we walk out of here at the end of the debate we've had, and we walk away with no legal protection against people being harassed, intimidated, threatened or vilified because of their faith, then what on earth has this debate been about? This can be fixed. We have not played games with the wording of this amendment. The Prime Minister in his speech made clear how important this is and implied it was already in the bill. It can be put in the bill tonight. And the claim from the government in the minister's speech, where he said it's not appropriate for this sort of legislation, well then why did we all make the speeches we made? I'm a person of faith. I'll never be threatened or vilified for mine, because it's the majority faith in the country. But that's not true of my neighbours. It's not true of someone wearing a hijab, a niqab, a turban, a yarmulke, or people who, because of their faith, a lot of people want to display icons, want to wear a cross all the time. And if you don't think they don't get abused and belittled, then you're not walking in their shoes. Prejudice and bigotry is wrong in every form. We are asking the government to do no more than to agree to the words of your own speeches. There is a way to support this amendment, and if tonight we don't find it, It is a complete failure of this process.